Are you good? Okay. I'd like to welcome everybody. At this time, we are going to stay into a moment of silence and the pledge. I'd like to remember all those that are being affected by coronavirus right now, and everybody involved. Pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Christie, is there a way to turn that? Yes. I'm sorry. It's just plugging the microphone. Yeah.
So we don't have no air.
Yes, that's just research.
Okay.
We don't usually run that one, so you still got people going.
Item number 1 is review of the agenda. At this time, I think you have some changes.
Yeah, I would ask to amend the agenda to strike item number 4, item number 7, and item number 20 for consideration. I just feel that's going to need some additional discussion.
Item 20?
Yes.
4, 7, and 20. That's the audit services, the graduation date, and the green mechanical change order in the amount of $50,000. That's the one with WMU that we
Oh, okay.
have not had a chance to meet with them yet, everything this week.
Do we need a motion on that?
We're getting ready. Number 2 is adoption of the agenda as amended by Mr. Christie. Or any more changes?
Move to adopt as amended.
Motion by Mr. Peridot,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Richardson. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Motion. Sorry.
Peridot and Richardson. Item number 3, approval of minutes for the February 18th, 2020 regular meeting.
Move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Peridot,
Second.
second by Mr. Heisel. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Student staff recognition. I think we can pretty much recognize them all right now for everything that's going on.
I will say, just as a quick thing, we served 860 meals today on the first day, which was unreal.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
That number will continue to grow as the week goes.
Public comments.
We have none, if I do have one question. Did anybody think you just did?
I did.
Did you?
I did earlier
Just
today,
did
yes.
something.
Student, okay. Nothing is, student support services, item number 5. Consider second school calendar reading and approval of 2020 school calendar.
Let Mr. Holland, if he wants to speak to you on this.
Anybody have any questions?
You want me to come up there or stay back here?
We did talk to the principals, and everybody involved, like you asked, and overwhelmingly they chose number 1. That also fit into what the girls' soccer team was needing for their program too. So number 1 is the recommendation, the option 1.
And that's with the earlier week. I would move to approve option 1 as the calendar for the 2021 school year.
Motion by Mr. Peridot.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Richardson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item number 6, approval of job description, Director of State and Federal Grants District Assessment Coordinator.
School calendar. Yes, I'm not used to doing this, I'm one
And you
behind.
talk.
Yeah. I put down for number 4.
Okay.
That should be number 5 was Mr. Peridot.
Gotcha. All right, you go ahead and talk.
Catch up here.
You're on number 6. Paul.
Yeah, I'm looking. Should have been in order. number 6 is the job description, request approval of the job description to combine serve two jobs that we have into one. It would mean no additional days. It would be no pay increase to the current position that's there. It just adds some additional duties, combines two job positions. This person will be over all state and federal grants. It's going to be with the district assessment coordinator. They're going to be working much more closely with Mr. Hall and I on the academic side of things. It's going to be aimed more toward the academic side instead of the bookkeeping side. But it's not an increase in salary. It's all 80% of it is paid by the grants that they service. And again, only 20% of the salary is paid from the general fund as it has been in the past. So there's no pay increase, no stipend increase, or no increase to the job, number of days for the job.
Any questions, comments? Motion?
I've got a few questions. Mr. Christie, just to clarify, the reference to salary table number 2, when you and I spoke earlier, just to reiterate, that's, this would be with a 16% index, is that correct? Do we need to reference that, or is it somehow implied, or could it be in the
implied on
motion?
that, if that's a piece of that one. And this, by job title, it's aligned with that 16%. But according to Alicia and Scarlett, that pay line indicates the 16%.
Okay.
That's where the position currently is.
This is a modification of a current position,
Yes,
not
it
a
is.
new position then?
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to see if that was the best way to describe it. I'd sent you an email having just a couple minor wording changes.
And I will incorporate that. That's, even if we don't put in there about, working with grant writing, there's a job line in there that says other duties as assigned by the superintendent. Every job description we do has those things, so if we come up with things like that, they can be added at any point. But I will add that to it as far as working with grants. That's part of what they do.
Okay. And my other suggestion was simply put 3 years of related work experience.
We had 3 years of administrative experience, school leadership experience. That's currently in that job description. It's got 3 years of school leadership, and you're wanting to put what and change it to?
Add 3 years of related work experience.
I don't know whether I can support that or not. I would rather keep it the way it is.
The school leadership, in that is,
Aren't these job description from KSBA?
for the most part,
I
yes.
think we need to stay with their guidelines. They're the ones who write this. Don't they have an attorney?
Are you
on
all
it?
implying that we could go out on KSBA's site and find this job
Not
description?
KSB, KDE site.
KDE.
These are all job descriptions. They're
KDE has a job description for this position?
for similar. Now, they get changed at the district level, but they start out from KDE with a job description.
So it's a
They get
template,
changed.
something like
It's a
that?
template.
I've
Some of them we
already-
use straight out of KDE, some of them are straight, some of them we modified ourselves. The leadership experience just for us implies we're looking at principalships, we're looking at assistant principalships, curriculum folks, those kinds of things, other things that may not be just grant writing or might not just be working with Title I or something like that. To me, the leadership experience is kind of all-inclusive of those anyway.
No, you never want to limit yourself, I don't believe. I'd rather district people find the best they can find.
I'd like to make a motion to accept it the way it's written.
There's a motion on the floor by Ms. Richardson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Peridot. All those in favor say aye. Opposed?
Hey,
Motion carries 4-1. Item number 8, consider approval of principal position at the Phoenix Academy.
Request approval to, this is The only change in that is it becomes a standalone position of its own. It's no longer connected to the high school as an assistant administrator to the high school that serves there. This would be a principal of that building. The only change in it is I did add 10 days to it to make it a 240-day instead of a 230 because as it is now with the 230-day position, there's 5 extended days at the end of the school year that the students have to go to Phoenix, and then they have to come back to school 5 days prior to the start of our school. So that's the 10 days. In the past, the administrator that's been serving there, she's been working those days, but then she's been having to take calendar days off in the middle of the year to make up for those days that she worked. This would extend that position by 10 days. It would only change the pay rate at that position for those 10 days. And that pay rate increase would be offset because there are 2 $10,000 stipends that are being offered right now that will go away when we put a person in this position full-time.
So this motion will eliminate those stipends.
Yes, it would.
And this position will be open. It's not, somebody's not getting a title change, but the position becomes open.
It'll be
People
open and we'll
apply.
take applications.
Okay.
And I'm, we'll
Well,
go
I
through the
know, I
application
just was trying to clarify.
process. It'll go to an application process.
Is there a specific job description for the Phoenix
Yes, there
Academy?
is. Yes, well, it's the same principalship as it's under the same, as the high school.
Is the high school?
principalship.
Because it's not.
And it doesn't pay anywhere near what the high school does. It's the same job description.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the principal position at Phoenix Academy.
Motion by Ms. Richardson. I'll second that. All those in favor, say, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you for doing that.
Item number 9, consider approval of Baker interior elevator replacement.
A recommendation to approve that at the cost, the estimated cost is $46,000. That's only replacing the parts on the elevator that the state mandates be replaced to bring it up to code. If approved, that would give us the ability to go ahead even during this time while we're down at the schools to go on and get this process started and quite possibly have it back up and functional by the time school starts back.
Any questions or discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve item 9 as written.
Motion by Mr. Tobey.
Mr. Topic, can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Does that imply as per the proposal that's in our packet? The
Yes.
wording is the
Yes.
elevator replacement. And
Yes, it's per what is in your, that's $39,900 on the parts replacement and $5,160 to bring it up to code. So for a actual total of $45,060.55. I put on here, that's kind of a not to exceed cost of $46,000.
So it's what we discussed
Yes,
at
it's
our work
exactly what you
session.
discussed.
Well, let's
So
just
that's-
modify my motion to consider approval of Baker interior elevator replacement not to exceed $46,000.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Richardson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item number 10, consider approval of, can we just group these together, Brian? The change orders, or do they have to be looked at individually?
You can, as long as you say that you move to accept items
10 through
10
22.
through
10 to 22. well,
Split that to 20.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to approve items 10 through 22 with the exception of item 20 as written.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Tobey, second by Ms. Richardson. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
The next meeting, you'll have a bunch of, start to see a bunch of BG4s. This is closing out your contractors.
That was, what number was that? 10 through?
22.
10 through 22 with the exception of item 20.
Well, 20 was taken out, and
Yeah.
we adopted the agenda.
10 through 22.
Number 20.
You can explain this to her when she
Yes.
gets in. Okay. Consent agenda items. Does anybody need to pull anything off?
Understand if there are, and I have to go back and look, if there are any field trips or anything on those are certainly suspended at this point in time, and they would only come into play if everything was opened back up. And I'm not sure without looking if there's one on there or if there's any fundraisers on there. No fundraisers will be taking place either at this time until school is back in session.
Number 26 is the school fundraiser request.
That fundraiser will not be taking place.
Which
There'll be
one
no-
is that?
Number 26.
Still approve.
You can still
We
approve it. Once- If we come
Yeah.
back to school, then they can
Yeah.
start it, but
Yeah.
nothing, there's no sales or anything going on at this time.
On item 25, I just want to clarify, it clearly says acknowledge technology
You
plan.
can take that off, Mike. I've not done it, other than even the text message that I've been sending you. I've not done an update. I will get you something, try to this
On
week.
25, the technology plan?
Oh, I'm talking 23. I'm looking at 23.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
On 25, it says acknowledge, I just want to make sure it is acknowledged and not imply approve, but just acknowledging. Okay.
You have seen it. Anything on that plan will still come to you for approval before.
If not, then would anybody like to make a motion for items number 23 through 41?
Should it be 24 through 41?
You want to take 23 off?
We don't have it.
There's nothing,
We don't have
there
it.
is no report there.
Okay.
Well, actually, there are some 23 items, and I'm sorry.
From SPED and from
We'll leave it on there. It's just, it's
23
just
sounds fine.
acknowledging it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So items 23 through
only SPED. Mike.
41.
Those
Anybody like to make that motion?
So moved.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by
Okay.
Mr. Peridot, second by Ms. Richards. All those in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item number 42, authorize payment of salaries and accounts payable.
I'd like to make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Heisel,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Talby. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. I'm assuming nobody, no, sorry. Need a motion to adjourn, and I'll make that motion. Anybody want to
I'll
second that?
second.
All right. Motion by Ms. Ritchie, second by Mr. Talby. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
7, or 6.